Hello, welcome back. So today's project is a butterfly garden, and we're going to create a scene where we've got butterflies flying around the screen. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so I've got an empty screen in front of me. I'm going to go to the Raspberry Pi projects page. I'm then going to select the Code Club projects, and on the right hand side, two-thirds of the way down, there's a looking after yourself modules. And we did stress ball last week. We're going to do butterfly this week. And basically what we're making is we're making a butterfly garden where the butterflies bomb around the screen. Some go round and round in circles, some go diagonally, some go across the page. That's what we'll be making. I'm going to make a couple of enhancements to this, which I'll share with you towards the end, because I'd like to see my butterflies being a bit more crazy like butterfly when butterflies fly. What do you need? Well, you either need online or offline Scratch. Today I'm going to be using online Scratch. Another session I'll show you how to use offline Scratch. What are you going to learn? You're going to learn how to use the motion blocks to create an animation. You're going to learn how to use costumes to customize sprites. And we're going to learn how to use the forever block. So, we're now going to open Scratch. The easiest way really is to click on this scratch.mit.edu on that link on that page there, or type Scratch in your search bar, and this has logged me automatically into my Scratch projects. You can work with the instructions being on one page and Scratch being on another page, but I like to do it side by side. So I grab hold of the tab at the top and let go. That's that window disconnected. Press Windows and right arrow key, and that fills the right hand side of the screen. Press Windows and left hand arrow key, and that fills the left hand side. And now I'm just going to squirt my screen across the page, so I've got my instructions on one side and my Scratch project on the other side. Okay, so going down the instructions in turn, we're going to add a backdrop to our project, and the backdrop we're looking for is the blue sky one, which is looks like this over here. So it's this one here, blue sky. So that's that backdrop added to my stage. Our next instruction is to delete this cat sprite. So we just make sure it's selected here. Well, it's the only sprite we have at the moment, and then press the dustbin button. So that's the cat gone. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add, oh no, the instructions are, yes, we're going to add a butterfly to our project, and come down to here and click on the butterfly one, which is this one here, and that adds that butterfly to our project. While we've got that here, it's always good to have a look and see what costumes your sprite has. So this sprite has 3 costumes, like a top view, an underneath view, which we'll delete, and a side view, which we'll also delete because we only want the top view for this project. Now we're going to save this project, and because I've logged in, it's going to save it into my online account. So we go File, no, I'm going to give it a name first of all, silly Billy, Butterfly Garden. I can't spell butterfly, and then press save now. That saves that to my online stuff. If you're using if you don't have an account, you can still save it to your computer by saying click on File and then Save to your computer. Okay, so we've got the game saved, we've got a butterfly on the screen. Let's make the butterfly move left and right. So the next thing we'll do is we're going to find the motion block. So under our Code tab, if we click the buttons here that control the different types of blocks we've got, the top one is motion, and the top motion block is move 10 steps, which is actually the one we want. If I click that a couple of times, you can see my butterfly moves to the right 2 or 3 times. Let's bring that onto our desktop. I then want to bring in the green flag. So the idea is that when we press the green flag here, our butterfly is going to move. It's an event when we press the green flag, so when the green flag is clicked, we want to bring a forever loop in, which is under the control box, forever, move 10 steps. Press the green flag, and that makes our butterfly go all the way off to the edge of the screen, and then it kind of like just sits there because it can't go any further. I'm not always going to follow the instructions, but I'm just going to say to you, if you put -10 in here, it'll come back the other way. If I put 100 in there, it's going to really go really fast. So this is a way that we can control how fast our sprite goes. Let's put 25 and put a minus on that one. You'll see it come back quite fast. Okay, let's go back to what they wanted us to do. We'll do 10. Sometimes you might find a sprite you've got has gone way off the page. So at the moment I can see that our sprite is sitting in the middle. In fact, I can tell you exactly where it's sitting because it gives you the X and Y coordinates in the window here. So this currently our butterfly is sitting at 291 on the X value, which is as far over to the right as it can go, and the Y value is 23, which is almost on the middle of the screen. If you sometimes get a sprite that goes off the page and just disappears, you can bring it back by doing clicking on the motion block and then clicking on the go to XY block. And if I type 0, 0 in there, making sure the sprite that's missing is the one that I've got highlighted, I just click on that, bring that in, and do that, and our butterfly will come back to the middle of the screen. If I stop that, so that's our butterfly back in the middle of the screen. That's just for your information. Okay, so we've got a butterfly that at the moment just goes to the right and then stops. We're going to add in a if touching edge bounce. So again, that's under motion, and it's right down the bottom here. We're going to stick that in our loop. When the green flag is pressed, our butterfly is going to go to the screen. Now that's not really helpful, is it? But the reason it's doing that is because the default setting for sprites when they move is to go round and round in circles. We can change that so it's rotation style. Something called rotation style is set to be left and right. So again, that's on the motion. It's right down the bottom here. Let's just stop up, but I'm going to stop the butterfly when he's the right way up. Stop him there, and then I'm going to bring that in there. I'm going to stick it at the top there. So when the program starts, it's just going to go left and right. The other options in there which you might want to be nosy about, there's one that says don't rotate, which I think might work the same for us. And then the one that it was just doing was the all round one. Let's try it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to follow the instructions first of all. So press the green flag, and that's our butterfly going left and right. What happens if I click don't rotate? I think because our butterfly is symmetrical, it appears to do the same thing, which is fine. Let's stop that, and if we click all around, this is our butterfly going up and down, upside down. So that's the default setting, but let's put it back to left and right. Okay, we're going to slow our butterfly down now by using a move 2 steps. We're going to change 10 to 2, so in there we just change that to 2, and now our butterfly will gently glide across the screen 2 steps at a time. When it hits the edge, it bounces. There's a reminder now on instructions to save our project, so we'll do a save now. Let's stop our butterfly. Alright. Flying at an angle. We're going to add another butterfly now to our project. So I'm going to click on the butterfly down here, the sprite down here. I'm going to do a right click. I'm going to do duplicate. Now I've got 2 butterflies. So that we don't get confused which one we're tinkering with, we're going to change the costume on our number 2 butterfly. We're going to change the colours on it. So come over to the costumes, and click in there, then click a fill colour. Let's click that colour there. Oh, let's click the whole let's just undo that for a minute. Just click away, then click my fill. Click the paint pot button, and then as I come into my butterfly now, you can see that I can change the colours of my wings. And I'm just going to change the outside edge so they're a bit more interesting. Here we go. I can change half his body as well. If I make a mistake, there's an undo option at the top here, so that will undo the last thing you did. I could, if I wanted to, also do some painting on my butterfly. So at the tip of my arrow here, you can see how fat my paintbrush is at the moment. So I'm just going to change that down a little bit thinner. Let's change that to 5. I'm going to make my butterfly look a bit like a wasp, or a zebra, or just something that's a little bit crazy. Okay, and I can also stick some lumps on the end of his antenna. Okay, so we've done a bit. We've done some modifying to our butterfly, and now this time we're going to make it so that the butterfly moves differently. So come back to my code, and we're going to change this one. So we're going to bring in a point in direction. So that is under point, there it is in the middle of the screen there, point in direction 90, and 90 means 90 degrees. So if you need some help to know what these numbers mean, if you click in there, you can visually see that when it says point in 90, it means it's pointing across to the right. You can play with this and say, oh right, so if I want to go straight down, that would be 180. If I want to go over to the left, it's minus 90, and then straight up is 0. But the one we want to do is we want to set it to 45. So 45 is going up at an angle like that. And we leave everything else the same. So if it touches the edge, it's going to bounce. So let's just see what happens on this butterfly. Because I press this block here, it doesn't make the other butterfly move. To make them both move, I need to press stop, and then press the green flag here. So one of my butterflies is going up at an angle. The other one has come down. It's going straight across left to right. Next instruction. Oh, it said save. So save now. Next instruction, we're going to add a small butterfly to our screen. So let's click butterfly 2 and duplicate that again. So it's gone straight to the middle. Let's change its colours again. Let's go into there. Oh, I need to pick the fill. I've got the paintbrush picked at the moment. I need the pot of paint icon. And now when I come in here, I can then change the colours of my butterfly. Let's try and do something a little bit different though, shall we? Let's do some tapered colouring. So I click this icon here. I can now make. I've now got a chance to make my colour swap from one colour to another colour in an area. So if I come down here, you can see in my box there that I've made the colours in the left hand wings go from dark to lighter. If I click the box again to do the wings on the other side, I need to reverse that. So I can click on this fill button again, press swap, and now we're going to go from the other way round. So it makes the butterfly look quite pretty. Okay. We want this butterfly to be smaller, so we're going to change its size to 50. We can either click on the size in here and type 50 in there, and that's our butterfly will then shrink to a small size, or, and the way they tell us to do it in the instructions is we set the size to 50, so that's definitely under looks, set 5 to 50, and we stick that underneath the point of direction, change that to 50. Oops, 50%. And actually, one of the instructions above was to make it go in the opposite direction to the other butterfly. So change that to minus 45. So it's going to come in when it starts off. It's going to go up to the right hand side. press that. Let's test that as we go along. After every little change you make, it's a good idea to test things out. So that's our little butterfly moving up to the left. Let's make it go a little bit faster, shall we? Let's make it go at 3. Right, so that's a little bit faster. Now the next thing's a little bit difficult to describe because you don't actually see this behaviour on the program. So they're telling us to make sure our butterfly, our small butterfly, goes behind the other butterflies. Well, it's doing that anyway. But what we can do is at the bottom of our looks options, there's a go-to layer. So you can add that into my code now, but it's not where they want us to add the back. We want to go back. We're in front of the other one, so I'm going to change that to front. Press start, and then my little butterfly will then fly in front on top of the other 2 butterflies when you see them meet in a minute. They're not going to, are they? Oh, here we go. Right, so the little butterfly's gone over the top of the other butterflies. Right, some other modifications we can make to our butterflies are right, let's go back to butterfly 2. No, we'll go to butterfly 1. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to change some of the colours inside our loops, our rings. And the way we do that is we go to the select, first of all we select the selector, then we select the wing, then we click away, and then we go for a fill, and this time I can fill the ring in like that, and my black dots down there. So we've changed those colours. The other thing I wanted to show you, which isn't on the instructions here, is how to make this butterfly appear to be flapping its wings a bit. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to, first of all, we're going to duplicate the costume, and I'm going to duplicate it again. Then I'm going to come back into here, my selector tool, and I'm going to, let's do the first one first of all. If I click on here, I'm just going to squeeze its wing in a little bit. Squeeze the other wing in a little bit. Come down to the next one. I'm going to squeeze this one in a little bit more. So when I click through my costumes like this, you can see my butterfly. Hopefully it'll make my butterfly look like it's flying. Now to make it happen on screen, well, on screen it's happening to each one as I press it. But to make it happen within the code continuously, I'm just going to add a change to next costume into my block of code. Doesn't matter where I put it inside the forever loop. But now you can see my butterfly's got he's got his wings flying. Right then, that's more butterfly-esque, isn't it? Right, so save our project. The next butterfly we're going to make is one that goes round and round. So pick butterfly 2. Let's change its colours a little bit. So it's all one colour, this one. He's a modern butterfly. Actually, I can see that one of the colours isn't the same as the other one. The way we can change that is I come in here and then but when this wing the same colour as this wing, I come in here, click on the drop down, pick on the colour picker, and then I get like a little spyglass appears. I can come on to the other wing. So I want this wing to be the same colour as that one, and just select that colour, and now both wings are the same colour. You could get them the same by making a note of the numbers on the colour palette there. So colour 5, saturation 100, brightness 100. But there's a little cheaty way of doing it by using the colour picker there. Right. So this is our first, did I? No, silly Billy. Right, so I'm going to rescue myself by doing an undo, undo, undo. Right, so that's the butterfly back to how it was. I'm going to right click on butterfly 2 and duplicate it. There we go. Now we've got butterfly 4. And just quickly, I'm going to fill those wings. Right, so that's butterfly 4 back to where we should be. And the first thing we're going to do on the code for this one, we're going to add that goto block. So we're going to get this butterfly to start off in the middle. So the code, and it's under motion, and it's go to, sticking it in there, and we're going to take it, put to 0, 0. So 0, 0 is exactly slap bang in the middle of our screen. So if I click that now, our new butterfly we've added will just go up and just follow the code that's had in there beforehand. We're just going to add a turn degrees on this one. So turn degrees is the second one down. We're going to add that into our forever loop. And now you see our butterflies going around in tight little circles there. If I change the angle in here to 2, you'll see that that butterfly just goes round in a bigger circle. I press stop, press the green flag, they all go back to their beginning positions, and our butterfly goes round and round in circles. Save my project. I'm going to show you one other thing that you can do with the butterflies. So butterflies don't tend to go in straight lines. They tend to be a bit more random. So on my butterfly 2, I'm going to change its costumes to do the same thing as that other one was doing. Select my picker. I'm going to duplicate it first. So I'm going to squash the wing in, squash the wing in. Same again. Same again. And this time I want to add some random movement to my butterfly, so it kind of like jiggles around a bit more. So my code here, first I'm going to change the costume to the next costume one, so he's fluttering a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of the X and Y positions of the butterfly. So under motion there is a change X and a change Y option. Now X and Y positions are the different, so if I stop these now, for example, butterfly number 2 is currently at -70, -73. Now I can change those numbers to make it go a little bit weirder. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to bring in an operator. I'm going to bring in random twice, and I'm going to stick that in there. So what this will do is it means it will change the position of the X position of the butterfly, and I'm going to change that to be from -5 to +5, -5 to +5. Instead of my move 2 steps in there, I'm going to lump those two together, stick, oops, doesn't do like that, does it? Yes, we go. Now, when my butterfly flies, you'll see my butterfly's got more of a skittish type movement. Is the only way I can describe that. It's kind of like the way the butterflies kind of like just, fritter. I think that's the right word. The way the butterflies fritter. Okay. Press my stop button. Let's press my garden. So these are the 4 butterflies that I've made. What I'm going to say to you is I look forward to seeing the creations you make. In order that you can share these with other people, if you press the share button at the top, if there's any instructions you need to put to people, so it might be a game you're making and you say, well, press blah blah blah. So I'm going to say press green flag to start. And if there's any notes you need to make or advise people or credits from Raspberry Pi Butterfly Garden Project. Please turn commenting off because we can do our commenting in Facebook. It's no big deal if you leave it on, but leave the commenting off. And then what's important then is you then either press the copy link button, or you can just simply swipe over the unique URL at the top of the page and paste that into your into the comments. I'm going to copy this code here and add that into the instructions for this project, along with a link to the project instructions. The next week we'll have a look at doing a serene scene, and this is a bit like a forest scene where we've got flowers that are going to grow, a grasshopper, and all sorts of exciting stuff. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this week's project. I look forward to seeing your contributions. Don't forget you can check mine online, and if you need any help, you can copy stuff from mine and see how I've done the one that I've submitted. And look out for next week's project in this serene scene.